All right, class, good afternoon as I'm posting this. Um, Today we're going to talk about titrations. So, a titration is a type of reaction between an acid and a base, and with that acid and a base, we are neutralizing an unknown sample. So, the way that this works is you take a long, skinny tube that can accurately measure volume. That long, skinny tube has a valve that lets you go drop by drop and place that into an unknown sample of either an acid or a base. Now, that tube is called a burette, and it measures volume very accurately. Often down to the hundredth of a milliliter once you do your estimations. Within that, you put something that has a known concentration. And either an acid or a base goes into there. You also put in your unknown sample an indicator. So if this is my unknown sample, you're going to place an indicator. Two indicators would be methyl red and bromophenol blue. Indicators, they change color if acidic or basic. So let's say we have a 17 milliliter sample of sulfuric acid. That's H2SO4. And we run our experiment and we drip, 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 drip NaOH that is 1.5, we'll make it even more specific, 1.50 molar NaOH. The question that I want to know is, what is the concentration of that unknown sulfuric acid? And then from that concentration, can we figure out the pH? So this is what we're going to be doing in your lab and in your write-up, and I want to go through some of the theory behind that. Now what you would do is you'd actually drip, drop by drop, you'd turn the little valve here, so that we get small drops until the indicator changes for whatever the color of the acid is, just to the shift, so that it goes from, I think it's blue to yellow for bromophenol blue, and I can't remember what methyl red is as it's neutralized. It's actually, the bromophenol blue will turn like green and then yellow, and you want it just when it stops right there. So the chemical reaction that we have here is we have H2SO4. How do you remember that H2SO4 is an acid? You remember the kind of sad limerick that little Timmy is now no more, for what he thought was H2O was H2SO4. This is the acid in battery acid, and we're reacting that with NaOH, or sodium hydroxide. Those, when they react, will form water and sodium sulfate. Make sure you know how to do that, with that, why that's Na2SO4. That was the most common thing missed on our tests and on our quizzes and on all sorts of things. It's the thing that I promised was never going to go away, and it hasn't gone away. I try not to be a liar. So we have a 17.0, oh boy, milliliters of H2SO4, and we don't know the molarity of it. We do know, though, that we had to drip in 15.34 milliliters of 1.50 molar NaOH. And that when we did that, we completely neutralized the reaction. So all that was left was H2O and Na2SO4. That means that there was nothing left over that would make it acidic or basic. Now, if we look at this, That means we're having a complete reaction here, and there won't be a limiting reactant. We will use up this exact amount, will exactly react with this one over here. So H2SO4, Na2SO4. Let's just double check. Have we balanced our equation yet? I kind of hope you guys were like twitching that whole time. Like, is he going to do it? I really hope he's going to do it. So this is going to be 2 NaOH. And if we go over here, we've got those oxygens. We need 2 H2Os. So that gives us 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're all balanced in our chemical equation. So if we look at this, and make that BCA chart that you all love so much. I have a story about the BCA chart. So the BCA chart, when I first saw it, I was at a workshop and my wife was there, and we both just went, oh my goodness, that's amazing. And as soon as we saw it, we're like, oh, we're never doing anything besides that to teach it. So if you were in my wife's class, she would make you do the same thing. Okay, so if we go here, I'm going to convert this to liters, so 0.01535 liters, and then that's going to be times 1.50 moles per liter. If we do that math, we get 0.023025 moles of NaOH. We know then that that 0.023 well, we'll put in the rest of it, 25 moles NaOH is going to react with it. There are 1 H2SO4 for every 2 NaOH. And if we do that real quick, we get our NaOHs cancel. 0.011525 moles H2SO4. Cool beans. Now, as we look at this, so far so good. That means before, what was inside of this container up here was 0.011525. And then each of those is going to get used up exactly. The whole point of a titration is so that afterwards you have neither your acid or your base left over. And then over here, starting off with none of the water, the change, so if we look here, we're going to go plus 0.023025, and then this, since we have just the 1 in front of there, will be plus 0.011525, and that's how much we have of each of those we have left over. Feels good, right? Okay, so we've just solved the first question, right? Not quite. So the first question was, what's the concentration of the sulfuric acid? So that concentration is going to equal 0.01125 moles H2SO4 divided by how many liters we had? Well, we had 17 liters, so that is 0.017 liters. Sorry, 17 milliliters. So we're going to take that number and divide it by 0.017. Doing that, we get a concentration of 0.6772 molar H2SO4. Okay, the second part of this question, I want to know what's the pH of that original sulfuric acid sample. So how do we do that? Well, if we look at this, pH is the negative log of the concentration of hydrogen ions in the solution. If we're looking at this particular situation, we have H2SO4, and then that's going to break down into two H plus ions plus one SO4 minus 2 ion when it goes into water. That means that for every one molecule of H2SO4, it produces two hydrogen ions. So if we had our 0.6772 molar H2SO4, looking at that, we're going, okay, so that means that within this, this molar is 0.6772 moles of H2SO4 per liter of solution. And we know that there are two H plus ions for every one H2SO4 ion. Those will cancel. And we're going to get the number that we had on the other one here, how much NaOH. Well, sort of. 1.354 molar is going to be the concentration of hydrogen ion, or we'll just write it as moles of H plus per liter of solution. So then to find the pH, we're going to say our pH is the negative log of 1.354. Plugging that into our calculator, we get, let me real quick do that. The pH that you calculate for this, you actually get a negative value for, which if you saw the cut in the video that all of that pops up all of a sudden. It's because I had to go check with my chemist wife to make sure I didn't screw something up. But it is correct. You can sometimes, at least theoretically, have a negative pH. Now, in an actual experiment, this doesn't happen. And if we were doing the unit on equilibrium constants, we could explain why. If you would like to, you can go ahead and read ahead on equilibrium constants in the next chapter. And that will give some of the reason why this is actually a little bit less likely to be the actual case. But for our calculations, this is the correct answer. Your pH would be negative 0.13. It's kind of fun. All right, so here's your homework. That's right. I'm sticking the homework in the video because you guys didn't watch the last video. I think there was 2 views, and one of those was me. So here we go. You're reacting an unknown calcium hydroxide. No, we won't do calcium hydroxide. Magnesium hydroxide. And you'll have 14.0 milliliters of that unknown sample. And it neutralizes with 14, no, I just used 14, with 19.25 milliliters of a 0.150 molar hydrochloric acid. I'll just tell you that's HCl. So the question is, what is the concentration of your magnesium hydroxide and then what is the pH of the and the pH of that magnesium hydroxide. All right, please submit the answer to that before our class tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Have a great rest of your day.